Welcome to the warm-up exercise for the YMI podcast called The Fantasy Restaurant. In here, my guests get to pick their favorite drink, appetizer, main, sides, and dessert. Quite literally, anything goes. Scott definitely read the brief. Then he said, how about we do it live, right? Like no practice. I can tell you that this is the most fun I've had doing the Fantasy Restaurant ever. I could see doing a podcast series of just crazy individuals like himself going on this adventure. It would be really fun. I can't wait for you to enjoy this fly by the seat of your pants adventure. So please share this with friends, help us grow, and I hope you enjoy this meal with Scott. Scott, thank you for joining me in the Fantasy Restaurant today.
It's lovely to be here. I've actually been here before, and I did not have a great time. So strike one.
Oh my gosh. I know. Well, I mean, we decided we would comp your meal, and I mean, honestly, we emptied out the restaurant, so it's just for you. It's all about you today. So I hope you're ready.
I'm gonna fill these tables with food.
Absolutely, if you want to. All right. So this is the Fantasy Restaurant, which means there are no rules. So this is going to be stuff from, say, your childhood, stuff your mom made, stuff your grandma made. This could be stuff you make today. It could be something from your favorite restaurant. This could be something from your favorite fantasy novel or movie. None of this has to make any sense except to you. So let's start at the start. What are you going to have to drink in the Fantasy Restaurant for your fantasy meal?
Ooh, wow. This is, I mean, just to let you know a little bit what went wrong my first visit here. It may have been partially my fault because when I'm in Fantasy Restaurant and there's no rules, I can't help but want to combine all the different things that I like. And I'm going to avoid that today. So
okay.
I'm going to keep on theme with something that I think would make sense and that would set your restaurant up for success. And you're going to get that 6-star Yelp review from me, the elusive one.
6-star. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to drink a root beer. Very cold, no ice. I just want it straight from the bottle. Boylan's root beer. Don't give me the diet one. Give me straight up.
Boylan's. All right. You sure you don't want that served in like an ice cold mug? Because, I mean, that generally will keep it cold longer, right? Or do you just want it right out of the bottle?
I'm going to drink it very fast. But you know what? I will take an ice cold mug, and I actually want a half-size ice cold frosty mug. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to ask you for a new one because that frostiness wears away so quickly. So I'm going to have tiny frosty mugs, and then it'll be almost like taking shots. I'll have some, and then I want a new frosty mug. Fantasy Restaurant.
How about we just keep like a little mini chiller right next to you? You can open the door. It'll be just right here under the table. You just open the door and it's a fresh mug ready for you.
Oh, you've thought of everything. I love this place.
Absolutely. Easily done. Why the Boylan's?
It's just my favorite one. It's just crispy. It's just sweet enough. It's just herby enough. It kind of goes with everything. That's my one and only root beer. If I have one.
So have you been drinking this since you were a kid, or is this something you found a little bit later in life?
I don't think this existed in my world when I was a kid. I know it existed on the planet, but no, this is something I never had until maybe 10 or 15 years ago. As a kid, I would get the A&W root beer if we went to like an A&W place or Stewart's. If we went to a Stewart's drive-in, but I never loved root beer as a kid. That's like an adult beverage for me.
Ah, I got you. So pinkies up when you're drinking it. I get it.
Yeah,
makes you feel fancy.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I felt fancier as a kid than I do now. So I'm regressing emotionally. Benjamin Buttoning.
I get you. Yeah. I was. It was all. It has beer in the title, so it always felt a little risque, a little dangerous. So I get you. I was in the same place.
Yeah, right. But I never liked birch beer. I want to be clear about this.
Okay.
Never was into birch beer.
Yeah. Or what's that Australian stuff? Is that the birch beer? Is that what they do over there?
Vegemite.
Like the Bundabergs?
I have no idea.
All right. That stuff I was never into either. I tried
The Australians hate root beer.
Yeah. They do everything backwards. I just don't understand. I have several Australian friends and can confirm. If you're a stranger, they'll call you mate. If you're their friend, they call you an obscenity. So, it's just everything feels odd and different. All right. Well, we've got our drink sorted. So now we move on to the appetizer portion, which I'm a huge fan of, and I am quite literally dying to hear what you're gonna pick for appetizer.
So I actually want to make a special request if I can. I actually I want to have a dessert before I have an appetizer. So I'm just going to ask for just a scoop of chocolate ice cream with a hefty gloggle of whipped cream and some rainbow sprinkles on it. This is how I choose to start the meal.
All right.
Because when I get to the end, there will be a secondary dessert. But I don't like to overdo it in one stop. I need the energy from the sugar in the beginning. Then we'll get into some appetizers, if that's okay, if the chef's okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I fil like we're pre-gaming here. It's this feels like you drink a little bit before you go to the bar to save money. I'm on board with
it. Is that why people pre-game?
Yeah,
well, then why go to the bar at all?
They're cheap, Scott, because they want to meet people. They want to be out with their friends.
This is what I missed in college. Just didn't do this.
All right, so chocolate ice cream. Are we talking like something like homemade? Like you want the chef to make it in the back? You want this like out of a bucket? Is it something like, is it Blue Bunny from Walmart? Is there a particular brand? How do you want this to come?
I'm so glad that you asked this because I'm going to have a different chocolate ice cream later in the meal. But this one right up front, this is going to be gelato specifically. Gelato. So it's going to be very, dense, and it's going to be, the flavor will be intact. It's going to have the gelato texture, where you don't get those ripples, you get this smooth runway left behind from the spoon.
We'll have a landing strip of ice cream. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. I mean, you are everything I could have hoped for in a patron here. So now we hit what I usually categorize as this interstitial period, right? It's between the appetizer and the main. Call it the bread/soup/salad. Are you interested in any of that? I feel like we're going to go off script here, but is there anything specific in there you'd like?
I am interested. I would love a loaf of your fresh sourdough. And I would love the way that you do it here, which I really enjoy, is that half of the loaf is always sliced at the table, and the other half of the loaf you have pre-sliced and you have toasted. So I'm gonna order that. And I'm going to get a side of of course, the cultured butter with sea salt. And, of course, your California olive oil, which I'm going to be using for a little drizzle.
So is this just olive oil from olives grown in California? That's the idea?
Yeah, I want to keep it domestic here.
All right.
And, of course, I know you said the word salad, which usually doesn't excite me all that much, but I'm just going to get just a small bowl of arugula tossed with lemon juice, that same olive oil, a pinch of sea salt, and a little bit of shaved Parmigiano Reggiano on top.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm sorry, one last thing. In that salad, I would love for you to roast some cherry tomatoes and toss those on as well. So they're going to be roasted, then chilled, and then in the salad. I don't want these cherry tomatoes that I then have to fork. It's tough. They're softer after they've been roasted, but I don't want warm tomatoes in the salad. So thank you for
if they're warm, they're gonna like wilt. They're gonna wilt the arugula, right? You don't.
That's why I'm not doing that. They've been roasted but then chilled. This is why your restaurant is so exciting, because you're willing to do these things. Or rip the Yelp review.
All right. Well, let me take a step back just a second. This butter. What temperature is that coming out? Is that coming out room temp? Is it going to be slightly above room temp? What do you want?
This is a great question. So the way that this, again, what I love about your restaurant is that you smear the butter across the plate, and it's a gradient of temperatures. So it goes from cold on one side to warm on the other. Because I like a different type of butter on my toast than I do on my bread. And so that's why you have a toast and bread in this special dish with sourdough, and you have a variation in butters.
Wow.
And I have the olive oil as well, so there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah. This is truly a fascinating restaurant. I'm feeling like we have in the freezer next to the mugs, we have a plate, and then we take it out, we dip half of it in hot water so that we can put it on there to have that gradient from it. Well, how do we keep it intact? I'm thinking we have a special surface on the table designed specifically for this, and so it's kind of got like a Peltier action on there. So one side's cool, one side's hot, and it will.
I've never even known how you did it at the restaurant, but I just know that it works, and I choose to believe it's magic.
Yeah, I tend to get in trouble
know how the sausage is made.
Occasionally, giving too much information out. So just keep it between you and me. We're solid. Oh my gosh, this is the most extensive menu. I love it. All right, so we move on to the mains, the main portion. I have a distinct feeling. I know where you're going, but I mean, you could be throwing me a curveball here. So what are we looking for?
Well, we're gonna have a lot of small dishes because my favorite way to eat would be having a bite of everybody's dish at the table. So this is what I like about your restaurant. You do offer this one thing where it's small bits of everything. And so I'm going to get
like a tapas sort of thing.
It kind of is. I'm going to get your circular lasagna that's baked in the cupcake tin.
What?
So that I get maximum. Yeah. Oh yeah. You do it real great. It's tall, but it's very crusty on the outside, and then get that one bite in the center that's softer. So I love that. Caramelized cheese around the whole edge of the thing. It's just brilliant. So we're going to have one of those. That's the lasagna. You also do another one of those. That's an eggplant parm. So we're going to have one of those. And then to complete the trifecta, we're going to get the little chicken parm. Same thing. The single serving in the cupcake tin. I love that. Then, of course, we need to have just a half dozen of your baked clams. The stuffed ones, not the straight up baked clams. The ones that are stuffed with the shrimp and the chili and the breadcrumbs on top. And a ton of garlic.
My goodness. In small portions. All right, so I'm imagining we have some sort of a Lazy Susan configuration here, so you can just keep spinning and then pick off anything you want. The other half of the Lazy Susan is it goes into a wall that's in the kitchen, right? So as you spin and you exhaust one of the things, they put a fresh cooked one on there. So it's always
that's interesting.
perfect.
The way I had envisioned it was almost the opposite, where I'm sitting in the center of a circular table. And I am the Lazy Susan, and it's on a motor, and I just keep moving. And you have to eat whatever you're in front of at the time. But yours is more efficient. My version of it is a lot harder for the restaurant to do.
Well, I was just thinking we could, because you're going to be surrounded by like chefs and wait staff, and yeah, I didn't know if you wanted that kind of attention on you while you're eating, because they're going to be watching every nuance of your face to make sure everything's good, and I didn't want to, hurt their confidence if something,
I'm sorry,
wasn't perfect.
Maybe you didn't get the note. I requested the private room I have there's actually no human right there, and the food just appears.
It comes in via robot. I gotcha. Robot waiter. Let me put that in here. So this is an interesting concept because it's much like brownies. For me, brownies, it's about the edges, right? Because I like that crust, but I still like them to be soft. And the idea of a circular lasagna in a cupcake tin is fascinating because I love the edges of the lasagna. It's my favorite part. So is this something you've actually done, or are we breaking new ground here?
The first time I've ever seen it was on your website, or maybe it was even on your Instagram on your restaurant. That's the only time I've ever seen it. So I just figured you made it up.
Oh my gosh!
Only a few seconds ago, when it was the first time you thought of
it. I had to say this is possibly the most brilliant thing I've ever. I mean, it's either brilliant or madness.
Fine line.
Yeah. Potato. So I am definitely all right. So normally I ask if you would like some side dishes with this as well. So I'm not sure if some of those constitute side dishes or not, but are you going to pair like a vegetable maybe or anything like that? Or are you just good with this? Because it sounds like this could be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want any vegetables. This is fine. This is beautiful. I mean, we may have to bring over a little dish of like escarole and garlic just so it's there. And I'll eat it. It is delicious. But I'm really there for the little cupcake tin things.
Okay. Absolutely. We're good. We're good on sides then. So that leads us to the possibly the conclusion of the meal, which would be the official dessert, second dessert, final dessert. What do you want to call this?
Yeah. So this is the part 2 of the second dessert phase.
Sequel.
Part 1 of the second dessert phase.
Okay.
Yes, because phase 1 was I wouldn't call it dessert. It was the pre-meal wettening of the appetite.
Guys, it's like
now
a
we're into the
amuse-bouche.
dessert phase.
Yeah,
yes,
I
exactly.
gotcha.
And there's it's two-part to it.
Okay.
So part 1 is we're in the cake phase. So this is a 12-layer cake where the ratio of cake to icing is exactly 3-to-1. 3 cake to 1 icing. And it's the yellow cake and it's the chocolate icing, obviously.
Okay.
And that's it. And it's 1/6 of a 9-inch diameter cake. That's the size of the slice.
Okay.
1/6.
Oh, yeah,
Served on its side.
Served on side.
Yep. And of course, chocolate milkshake, where diner style. So I have the tin of the excess milkshake, but it's infinite. It never ends. I keep adding it to the glass, and it's in a glass.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'll do
that's
is
all happening.
we have specially designed glasses as well. And there's a special spot, you stick it in the table, and whenever you put it there, it kind of engages a little mechanism that fills it from the bottom. So it always maintains the proper level inside, as well as temperature.
This is next level.
Yeah, we're
This is why you
problem
earned that
solvers.
4th Michelin star.
Problem solvers here at the Fantasy Restaurant. Also, this cake, when it comes to you in wedge form, how do you want us to orient that? Is it the butt, the crust, the outer facing towards you? Is it the inner? Like, I don't know. Like, do you want to be kind of surprised as you turn it?
So the slice is served to me at a 45-degree angle with the most iced corner opposite my seat.
Brilliant move. Why away from you? Just, I'm curious. I have my opinions on it. I'm just curious. Why do you want the most iced away?
It's the horizon. It's the destination. It's beyond. It's the end.
So you really want to close out with a bang, sort of thing. You want to go out in style. The fire, like it's the grand finale of the fireworks, right? Where just launch everything.
Fortunately, it's not even going out because I still have the second part of the dessert phase to look forward to.
Okay.
Which is, of course, the second ice cream of the night, which is the metal dish of chocolate ice cream, but it's diner style. So it's freezer burned, little chunks of ice, very low quality. 2 scoops in there. That's it.
All right. Are we going to
serve to me about
you?
an hour after I've eaten I eat everything else, and then there's about an hour where I just sit, and then the ice cream.
Okay. And I'm assuming we're going to serve it to you with a spoon that's like so cold you can barely hold it, right?
Ooh,
it's like so uncomfortable to the hand, right?
You know it. You must have written it in the POS that customer that came in once, that was the special request, and you knew it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was just thinking what could potentially make my teeth hurt, or perhaps the spoon will stick to your lips if you're not careful, because it's that cold.
That's the goal.
Oh, why a metal dish? Does it signify anything to you, or just the quality is a little bit lower?
That's just what I would. That's a diner style. When I grew up getting ice cream at a diner, that's what it would be in, and that's what makes me feel settled at the end of this giant meal. And you feel slightly uncomfortable, and it's that dish and that icy ice cream that makes you feel settled.
I have a feeling that is a very nostalgic thing for you. Is that
Absolutely.
sort of like kind of a comfort food thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of diner eating when you were a kid?
A decent amount. I grew up in New Jersey, so the diner is the religion of New Jersey, and then it's more like in high school, and then in college, when you go back to hang out with your high school friends, and you go to a diner at 2 a.m. That's life.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, this extensive menu. I'm going to read it back to you to make sure that they don't mess it up in the kitchen, right? Any tweaks or tunes, totally open to that. So we are going to start with root beer. We want it nice and cold, no ice. It's going to be the Boylan's. And we're going to have a small, it's not even a fridge because it's got to be colder than that. I guess it's like a little freezer of half-sized mugs, right? They're going to have a nice frosting on them. And we are going to transition to our amuse-bouche. We're going to do a nice gelato, like a chocolate ice cream with a little bit of whipped cream on top and sprinkles. Now, are those multicolored sprinkles, or are we going for like chocolate sprinkles? So you're doing a chocolate on chocolate.
There's no such thing as a chocolate sprinkle. There's colorful sprinkles, and then there's ones that are not colorful, and I would like the colorful ones. But they all taste the same. We all know that. All
right. I was going to say, this is the Fantasy Restaurant, so if you want those sprinkles to be chocolate, we will have chocolate sprinkles.
I want them to taste like a rainbow.
Okay. All right, then we're going to move on to some of our bread, and it's going to be sourdough. And I'm envisioning like a nice crisp crust, but the soft inside, really good open cell structure on the bread. And you can smell it the instant they open the kitchen door, it kind of just wafts at you, and you know it's coming. And then we are going to pre-slice half of it. We're going to toast it. You want that toasted on both sides or just one side, right, to kind of mix up the textures?
Yeah, I would love it on both sides. Thank you.
Both sides. All right, we're going to toast on both sides. Then we're going to bring in our cultured butter with a little bit of sea salt in there. We went not room temperature, but we have our specially designed plate with a Peltier configuration on the bottom. So one side cold, one side hot, and then we've got a gradient, and we're going to smear the butter. There's going to be several lines in there, so you can take your time. Or you could just tear off pieces of bread and just rub it right on there, like if you so choose. We're also going to have, I think we're going to have some California olive oil for that as well, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to do small bowl of arugula, just so you can, feel like you're doing something healthy there. A little bit of shaved parm on top. Then we're going to roast some cherry tomatoes. I'm assuming, are those going to be some whole, some cut in half, some in quarters, or is there any particular configuration you prefer?
Yeah, I would love for them to be halved. Just halves.
Hemispheres. Right. And then we're going to chill those. And then we're going to mix them into the salad. Or do you want them just on top? What do you prefer?
Let's mix it right in. I know. I want it to arrive as it should be eaten.
All right. Perfection. All right. Then for the main, let me loosen up here. We have our special, we say cupcake tins, but really they're cast iron, but cupcake configuration. And we're going to do circular lasagnas so that they get that perfect crust outside, but stay like nice and soft in the middle. So you're about gradients. I see that. Then we're going to do an eggplant parm and then chicken parm. And we're also, I'm sorry, I was just imagining you in the middle of a circular table. It just kind of popped back in my head. Then we're going to do half dozen baked stuffed clams as well. And those are apparently all served to you by non-humans. So I guess robot, maybe we'll have some serving dishes attached to the backs of dogs that can be trained to bring them in there. I don't know how sanitary that is, but you're the only one in the restaurant, so I think we can probably get away with it. And then we are finishing off with our dessert menu. So we are going to do 12-layer cake, and we're doing 3-to-1 cake to icing, yellow cake with chocolate icing. And are we doing box mix, or do you want that to be bespoke, something like custom made out of the kitchen?
Oh yeah, this is your kitchen's version.
Okay.
But it tastes exactly like Duncan Hines.
Which means we will secretly send somebody to the grocery store and get some Duncan Hines.
I don't like to know how the sausage gets made.
All right, that's fine. Then we're going to do chocolate milkshakes that are only ever half full in the thing that they generally make them in, the container, but it'll have the secret contraption on the table so that it will always refill when necessary. And then we're going to have a little bit of hour gap where would you like us to sing in or rather send in maybe like a singer or magician, a clown, because you're going to be waiting for about an hour for
Oh, no. That's the time where I'll be sitting on the couch and watching an episode of the X-Files.
Okay. Perfect. We can make that happen. I mean, as per normal, the couch is there. The Xbox DVD set is already ready and accounted for.
Perfect.
Then we're going to finish it off with the second ice cream, but this is going to be diner style in a metal dish, and we want this as low quality as possible. It's probably been in the freezer for, 3.5 months, give or take. Freezer burned. I mean, you have to be careful because maybe it's like, freezer icicles in there. It's going to be pretty dangerous. But you're a pro, so I'm not worried about that.
Wait, is that really dangerous, like health-wise?
No, I don't think so.
Cool.
So.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Because, we're good. We've melted it and boiled it to kill any contaminants and then refroze it to get extra freezer burn.
Wow.
Yeah. We double pasteurize it. And then we're going to serve that with a frozen spoon that will possibly stick to your fingers for a second for maximum discomfort.
I'll wear my ice cream glove.
Not gloves, but glove.
Yeah, I just want my spoon hand.
Okay. Well, I thought you'd have like the finger cots where it's just thumb and forefinger.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, maybe I'll upgrade to that. It's easier to travel with those. I have the big chainmail ice cream glove. It's too intense.
Yeah. Plus maximum mobility for the remaining fingers. Yeah.
Forget about dexterity in my life.
All right. Geez. Well, are you happy with your meal? Does it sound adequate?
Listen, this is delightful. I'm so excited about it, and just thank you for opening the door today for me, even though I know you're closed.
For you, we are always open. We are always open. The door is always open. All right. Well, Scott, thank you for joining me in the Fantasy Restaurant today.
Oh, it's been lovely. Thank you for having me.